Wednesday, November 4th. The time is 7 o'clock. I will call the meeting to order. Mr. Aho, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Curtis?
Here.
Mrs. Davis?
Here.
Mr. Felber? Here. And Mrs. DeFabio and Mrs. Gordon are absent.
Okay, very well. Would you all stand for the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't believe we have any changes to the agenda or addendums.
We do not, thank you.
Okay, so then I'll move on to communications and my president's report. Good evening and welcome parents, community, and administration of the Twinsburg City Schools. I'm Mark Curtis and I'm honored to be your board president. During normal times, I would welcome the families of Samuel, Bissell, and R.B. Chamberlain, as these are schools that are selected for presenting their students every month. However, should any families be watching the live stream, I want to extend a warm welcome virtually to all of you as we recognize your children this evening. I'd like to begin my report by recognizing Wilcox Primary School for yet another 5-star Stellar Quality Award by the Ohio Department of Education. In light of our circumstances, it is an acknowledgement of the hard work and commitment of the staff to continue delivering high-quality services and instruction to our children. Congratulations on a job well done. I would also like to recognize our Twinsburg Lady Tigers soccer team on yet another amazing season. You all epitomize our slogan, a tradition of excellence in every way, year in and year out. We are extremely proud of you and your accomplishments in being named district champions. While you weren't successful in defeating Strongsville, you cemented your legacy in the record books as one of the best teams that we've ever had. Congratulations. As we near, finally, I would like to inform the board and community that I was recently chosen to be a delegate for the Ohio School Boards Association's Federal Relations Network. Since 1972, the Federal Relations Network has served as a network of school board members across the state whose goal is to build strong relationships with each member of Congress and to keep the elected representatives informed about the school board perspective on American public education. Delegates are selected by the Chief Executive Officer of the Ohio School Boards Association, and we are chosen to serve 2-year terms and are eligible for reappointment. 2 board members are assigned each to a congressional district. As a result of my being selected, I will be attending the National School Boards Association Advocacy Institute Conference in Washington, D.C. in June. I look forward to serving in this capacity and continuing to proudly represent our district in the best way possible. It's truly an honor. And to that end, this concludes my president's report, and I will now turn the meeting over to our superintendent, Mrs. Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Board of Education and members of our community. We're delighted to be here this evening to celebrate some great students of the month from R.B. Chamberlain Middle School and Samuel Bissell Elementary School. Mrs. Johnson and Mr. Reese are here this evening. The Board of Education, we're going to be doing this a different way because of the fact we're in the middle of a pandemic. And so we want to continue to celebrate our great accomplishments from our students and our staff members. But we're going to be doing pre-recorded presentations instead of having the children and their families join us for our meeting. So we'll get to that in a minute, and we want to thank Mrs. Johnson and Mr. Reese for preparing what I know is going to be a wonderful presentation tonight in celebration of some awesome students from Bissell and RBC. Mr. Curtis, I think I need to coordinate my remarks with yours because my whole next 3 paragraphs happen to be about you. And this, this wonderful...
Skip a bit.
It's a major big deal. And, you know, we can't gloss over the fact that you have been selected to serve as a delegate in the Federal Relations Network delegation. To have the Twinsburg City School District at the table in these conversations is really remarkable, and it's a wonderful feather in your cap and that of our school district. And we appreciate your continued advocacy on behalf of all of our students, but not just our students here in Twinsburg, but Ohio's public school students. And that's what it's about. Having a seat at the table so public education and what public education is all about is heard by the legislators. So thank you for your commitment to our students and for your continued dedication to our community, as well as to the state of Ohio, because really it's bigger than us. And I'm really proud that you're representing us, and I thank you for leading the charge in this important work that you're going to be doing. That's awesome. Board of Education, more things to celebrate, more students to celebrate. We want to congratulate Twinsburg High School cross-country tiger Aiden Kane, who competed last Saturday in the OHSAA regional tournament. Although Aiden will not move on to the state tournament next weekend, we are very proud of his accomplishments in cross-country this year, and we look forward to seeing him compete next year. Also, congratulations to our coaches Sarah Pumet and Coach Biesing, as well as the entire Tiger cross-country team on a wonderful fall season. Board of Education, next week is a very special week in the nation, in Ohio, and of course in our school district, and that means it is a time to stop and thank our veterans. Typically, we have lots of programs here in our school community to thank the veterans for their service to our country and to our community, but unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we are not able to do that this year. So on behalf of our students, we want to just thank all of the veterans who have served our country. We especially want to thank our veterans here in our community. The veterans of Post 4929 are true partners to the Twinsburg City School District, and we thank them for their dedication and the important work that they've done in the past and that they continue to do. And they really remind our students and our staff members what it means to serve one another. So we want to thank them very much for their dedicated service. Last week, Board of Education, we finished up our Fill the Bus campaign, and I'm very delighted with the amount of non-perishable food items that was donated to the Emergency Assistance Center. You know, the Emergency Assistance Center is our wonderful partner in our Pause on Child Hunger program, and they've been that way for many years. And when Joyce Hutt, the executive director, called us and said, hey, our pantry shelves are bare, can you help us? We have such a wonderful community here. Everybody came together, and we donated thousands of pounds of food items to the Emergency Assistance Center. So it's important to teach the students the need to provide service to others and to give back. And I think this effort really just did that. And we thank the boys and girls, and we thank our staff members for providing this opportunity to fill the bus once again this year in partnership with the Emergency Assistance Center, as well as our friends across the border at Nardonia schools. I also want to thank our parents who submitted their feedback in our Focus on the Second Semester survey. As of Monday, we had responses for 2,369 students. However, with a little more than 4,200 students in our district, we have a way to go. I reopened the survey on Monday of this week, parents, and sent another request asking those who had not completed the survey to please do so. The survey will close at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, November 8th. It's very important for our parents to submit a separate request for each of your children, and for parents who did not submit surveys for their children by this Sunday's deadline, the district will move forward with the understanding that you would like your child to remain in the same option as you selected for the first semester. Again, the survey will close at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, November 8th, and we really appreciate everyone's assistance with this very important task. Boy, as you know, the administrative team will begin to use the data from the survey to build our programming for the second semester. And I'm so appreciative of our parents who already provided the feedback, and I thank in advance the parents who have yet to do that. It is really important for our parents to know that we really want to provide the service that you're asking, and the only way that we can do that is if we have your feedback. So please take a few minutes to complete the survey if you've not already done so. And again, it'll close on Sunday, November 8th at 11:59 p.m. So without further ado, we have lots of great students to celebrate, and I wanted to ask Mrs. Misty Johnson to come forward, our principal from Samuel Bissell Elementary School, who has been transplanted or transferred or something across the street to Twinsburg High School this year with our second and third grade students. And I'm sure we have some wonderful Tigers to celebrate this evening. Welcome.
Thank you, Mrs. Powers. Good evening, Board of Education, Mr. Oho. And to all of our parents and families, thank you all for watching, and thank you for having us here this evening. Before we get started, I just wanted to provide some information that I'm really excited about. One being the celebration of Veterans Week next week, since we cannot do Veterans Day. As many of you know, my husband is currently serving in Kuwait. He's been in the Ohio National Guard, Army National Guard, that is, and he is in his 30 years. He's served our country, so very proud of him and very proud of his service. And my son, my oldest son, is currently in active duty at Fort Leonardwood, Missouri, where he is also pursuing Ohio National Guard, Army National Guard, that is. And so he'll be graduating from basic training November 12th. Very proud of him for that. He'll be moving on to AIT, and then upon returning for second semester, he'll attend Kent State University. So very, very proud of the men in my life, and very happy that they're serving our country. But with that being said, we're really excited about next week. The students and staff will participate in a week-long just recognition and just a way to say thank you to all those who serve our country. So on Monday, we will be decorating posters and signs, and we'll be hanging those at in the windows of the high school to be seen by all who travel down Ravenna Road. On Tuesday, we will dress the part, so we will dress as armed forces, whether it's Navy, Army, Marines, Coast Guard, we will dress the part. On Wednesday, we will dress in red, white, and blue. On Thursday, we will create cards and letters that we can send to either our soldiers overseas or here share with the veterans at the VFW. And then on Friday will be a special presentation on Twitter by our very own Mrs. Petit. So I'm very excited about next week. I think it's just a way that we can just continue to say thank you to all those men and women who serve our country. The other exciting thing that I want to share with you today, excuse me, is our Readathon results for this school year. And I just cannot be more proud of the students of Samuel Bissell Elementary School at the high school. This year, they really, really surpassed the goals that they set to accomplish. And I don't have the words. I said to myself, what am I going to do? You know, I usually dance on the roof, but I don't know what I'm going to do this year. I maybe have to dance on the roof and then some. But just to share with you, so for the Readathon, our goal was to read 100,000 minutes. Our second and third graders read 108,294 minutes. So very proud of them. The goal for the fundraiser to raise, our goal was to raise $10,000, and we raised $17,903.15. So thank you to our Twinsburg community for all the participation with the second and third graders in our Readathon. It's just outstanding, and I'm so very proud of all the hard work from our PTO and all of our parents and all of our students, and all this money just goes to support all of them, all of our students throughout the school year. So very happy for the hard work they put in, so very happy for all the donations, and it's just a wonderful feeling to bring everybody together, work together for a common goal, and that is to support our students. So thank you, everyone. So last but not least, we're here today to celebrate our students and our staff of Samuel Bissell Elementary School at the high school. And you will hear me speaking on the, speaking virtually, I should say, as it relates to recognizing students for the accomplishments they've made this past month, and also for the staff members who are just doing an outstanding job. All of our students are selected by their classroom teachers, and all of our staff members are selected by another colleague at the high school. So without further ado, I will turn it over to our presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Samuel Bissell Elementary School, second and third grade at Twinsburg High School is proud to announce our second and third grade students of the month, as well as our staff of the month. The Students of the Month program at Samuel Bissell Elementary School recognizes students for outstanding achievement, for focusing on recognition in the areas of citizenship, academics, social, civic, volunteer, or other accomplishments that set the student apart from their peers. I would like to start with our second graders this year, and we're going to start with Jenna. Jenna was recognized by Ms. Conrad. She's such an awesome student. She makes learning so enjoyable, and she has a bubbly personality. She's an amazing babysitter. She's compassionate to everyone. Her favorite food is ice cream, and her favorite color is black. She is honored by her teacher, and she is honored for being a wonderful role model for the children in the classroom. And every morning she greets her friends in the morning with such a nice greeting and tells everyone to have a nice day, and it's a nice way to start the day. So congratulations, Jenna. Our next student, second grader, from the Virtual Academy, and nominated by Ms. Benzie, and it's Marklin. Marklin is nominated for being such a great role model. He emulates many qualities of a well-rounded second grader. He hops on Google Meets each morning with a positive attitude, and he's always ready to learn. Way to go, Marklin, from Ms. Benzie. Our next second grader is another Virtual Academy student, and Ms. Callie. It is written by Ms. Jolly. She's such a caring and thoughtful young lady. She's very bright, hardworking, and well-mannered. She has great potential, and she consistently works hard towards achieving it. So great job to Callie. Our next student is Savannah. Savannah is nominated, she's another Virtual Academy student, by Mrs. Ziska. She joins our virtual classroom each day with a smile on her face and an enthusiastic attitude. She participates, asks questions, and she completes her assignments with 100% effort each day. Congratulations, Savannah. Way to go. We have another student who is from our Virtual Academy, and it's Caleb. Caleb is nominated by his teacher, Ms. King. Caleb is an all-around terrific second grader. He arrives to our Google Meets each day with a smile. It is enthusiastic about learning. He's a hard worker and a kind friend. Way to go, Caleb. Again, nominated by Ms. King. And those are our second graders, and now we're going to move into our third graders, and our congratulations goes out to Ella. Ella was nominated by her teacher, Mrs. Dorland. She's an on-campus learner, and it says that she's a fantastic student. Academically, she shines, she put forth great effort, and she's always working hard. She follows directions, and she does superior work. Congratulations, Ella. Our next third grader is Lily, and she's nominated by her teacher, Mrs. P. She's another on-campus student, and it says that she's a dedicated student in many ways. She works hard in all her academic areas. She is a friend that others can count on, and she's a great class leader. Way to go, Lily, and that was written by Mrs. P. Our next third grader is a Virtual Academy student, and it's beautiful, and it's written by Mrs. Muller, her teacher. Mrs. Muller states that it's been a unique start to the school year being virtual and having to learn online, but Beautiful has stepped up to the challenge. She is on every Google Meet ready to learn with many questions at hand, making sure she is doing what she is expected to do. She wants to please and do well, which is evident in her attentiveness and the questions that she asks. Way to go, Beautiful. Congratulations. Our next student is Anthony. He's on campus, and he is nominated by his teacher, Mrs. Kinsella, and it says that he is an exemplary role model. He consistently works hard and is kind to his peers. He comes to school daily with a smile on his face, and he is ready to learn. Way to go, Anthony. And our last student is an on-campus student, and it is James. And James is nominated by his teacher, Ms. Volinsky. And it says that he shows exemplary behavior every single day in and out of the classroom. He consistently participates in class, and he's always there to help any student that needs help. He is punctual, organized, and respectful. Way to go, James. Awesome job to our second and third grade students. We are so very proud of the hard work that you put forth every single day. And you represent not only Samuel Bissell Elementary School, but you also represent your families very well. So great job and kudos to you. And now we're going to move on to our teachers and our staff members who have been nominated. So the first one goes out to Miss Key. She's a second grade virtual academy teacher, and she was nominated by Miss Benzie. And it says it's an honor to nominate her as she puts forth great effort in her daily work and in her work ethic. She strives to create meaningful learning experience for her virtual students, and she's truly inspiring. She's so thankful that she is a colleague of Miss King, as she is not only a colleague but a friend, but she really says that Miss King defines the definition of team player, and she's always willing to help anyone in need. Miss King is also a grade level leader who leads with another colleague in helping our second grade team, especially with the support that's needed in these uncertain times. She feels very fortunate to have the opportunity to collaborate with Ms. King. So way to go, Ms. King. Thank you for all that you do and for all your hard work and dedication. Our next staff of the month is Mrs. Lavish. She's a second grade teacher here on campus. She's nominated by Mr. Robo. And it says that she's being nominated for many reasons. As a great leader, especially this year, he says. She has gone above and beyond with the hard task of teaching her peers how to conduct a paper-free technology atmosphere in the classroom. She has been very patient with others, including Mr. Robo and many others. And he says that he is just amazed on how much she has accomplished in such a short time. So congratulations to Mrs. Lavis. Great job, and thank you for your hard work and dedication. And then our next group is, we have two that we're nominating, and so they're being nominated by the Bissell staff, and this is Ms. Betsy Bell and Ms. Melissa Wade. They are our janitors who work so very hard each and every day to keep us safe. So they're nominated, and it goes on to say that they are always present, they are so sweet, they are kind to our students, and they are a pleasure to talk to. They say that they feel safe and clean because of all the hard work that they put in to make the environment safe and clean for everyone. Even though that their world was turned upside down, they go on to say that they demand the cleaning schedule due to protocols to make sure things are safe for everyone, and they're on their toes each and every day. They say that these two women do an amazing job with making sure they have smiles on their faces and making sure that everyone that is safe here at the Twinsburg High School. So thank you so much for the hard work and dedication from our janitors and for the work that they do every single day. Betsy and Melissa, you are appreciated. And that's what we have from Samuel Bissell Elementary School. We are so proud of our students and staff. I hope you enjoyed our presentation. And again, thanks to all for what they're doing to make sure we're safe and things are happening at Samuel Bissell Elementary at the high school.
And now we'd like to switch gears a little bit and ask Mr. Reese to come forward to celebrate our wonderful students from R.B. Chamberlain Middle School, which is this year located at George G. Dodge Intermediate School. Welcome, Mr. Reese.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board, Mrs. Powers, Mr. Aho. Very, very glad to be back here to celebrate our Students of the Month. I look at this year very often as it's such a win when we don't let the pandemic take away opportunities, memories, or recognition from our students or from our staff. And it may not look like it used to, but to still have these kind of ceremonies, I think is special in its own way, and to not let these opportunities pass us by. I've been amazed this year by the resiliency and the perseverance of our students and our staff. And so the list could go on and on of students who are worthy to be recognized for what they've learned and done to make this year special for everyone. But these were the ones who rose to the top here for the month of October. First we have Grace Cantor. Mrs. Jimenez says, Grace adds insightful comments to class and is always willing to help a classmate. She is a star academic student and shines outside the classroom in softball and soccer. Next, we have Ruben Krieger. Mrs. Wilson appreciates Ruben's considerate nature and sense of humor. He brings a smile to every Google Meet and is engaged and focused during class. Gianna Vince. The yellow team nominated Gianna because of her hard work every day and by completing assignments to the highest quality. Harjo Gill. The yellow team nominated Harjo for his hard work and for being a role model for his classmates. For our 8th graders, Aria Gebby, Mrs. Walters writes, Aria's thoughtfulness and creativity in her writing and schoolwork is a breath of fresh air for all of her teachers. Isaiah Johnson, his science teacher, Mr. Higgins, said Isaiah's energy and excitement lifts up everyone in class. Reagan Alt, Mrs. Paul wrote, Reagan is outgoing, organized, and prepared. Her positive outlook allows her to be a leader for her peers. And our final student is Aiden Bryan. And Ms. Casino said that Aiden is an amazing young man. He is focused on learning and being a kind friend to everyone. And those are our students of the month. Maybe a round of applause for them. I'd have them all hold their certificates up for their picture, but hopefully their families got to see it and take a picture of the live stream. There's many highlights from this school year, and for me the top one is this is the amazing growth of our students and our staff. Our 7th graders, they didn't even know how to get onto Google Classroom when the year started, and I know our teachers, they didn't know what was going to be expected of them when they came back in mid-August, and telling them they were going to be teaching kids who are at home live on the computer was something they have never done before. And lately I've been getting on their classes with the kids at home, and it's amazing to me to see the connections that these groups of kids have made and their jokes, and if they're late for a Google Meet, this is one of my favorite things that happens, the teachers will send me an email, and I'll call the home and let the parents know, hey, so-and-so's not on, for science class. Well, the other kids in class now text that student to let them know the principal's coming. And so you see this connection with these kids because it's the same group every day, and they get on and they're having learning, and the teachers, their knowledge of how to teach and use the different apps and tools for them and you can see the pride in the teachers' faces of what they've been able to learn this year. And so I'm very proud of our students and our staff. We had a Spirit Week. We celebrated Spirit Week. Again, we're not going to let the pandemic steal memories if we can. And so that was fun. Fall sports. I'm so thankful for our athletic department, custodial staff, everyone our coaches who put in the effort of what it took to get our plans approved, to get our seasons going. And kids got to run cross country, and they got to play volleyball. Our 7th grade volleyball team, they were awesome. Undefeated season. I mean, they were so good, so fun to watch. And football, and these kids didn't lose these experiences because of the hard work of the people around them to make sure it was going to be safe and successful. Last week we had Red Ribbon Week, which is a week to prevent drug use, living healthy. And so we had dress-up days, and we had videos each day that got posted. The students have what we call our Google Connection Classroom, and that's the same kids virtually and on campus, and they get the same messages from our office staff. We participated in the Fill the Bus, and now we're finding ways to do clubs and activities. So starting very soon or already underway, student government. Power of the Pen. There's actually going to be virtual Power of the Pen competitions. Mr. Pietriz is running that, and he said, well, do we want to compete in the competitions, or we just want to just let them join the club? And I said, no way, we're competing. Right? We're going after it. Come on. So Power of the Pen, art clubs, so some of our clubs and activities are underway. And again, we're not going to let the pandemic steal our memories. And then after listening to Mrs. Johnson, we are definitely doing a Veterans Week next week. So I don't know what we're doing yet, but when I get back to school tomorrow morning, I'm meeting with the office staff, and I'm saying we are doing Veterans Week because Mrs. Johnson has a great idea. And so we are stealing that from you. I'm not so proud not to steal good ideas. And, we thank your husband and your son for their service, but we also thank you because you make a sacrifice too, and we appreciate it. And so that's what's going on at RBC at Dodge. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reese. Board of Education, it's so great to hear about the kids and the staff, isn't it? And even though this is different,
And, we thank your husband and your son for their service, but we also thank you.
We still have reason to celebrate, and as Mr. Reese said, it's about making memories for families, and it's so important that we continue to do that through this pandemic. I want to thank Mrs. Johnson and Mr. Reese for being the first two principals out of the gate to come and present their Students of the Month and their building highlights. The other principals have a lot of work to get ready to do such a great job. We appreciate you being here this evening. We appreciate all that you do for your students, and thank you for celebrating some outstanding students this evening at our board meeting. And board, that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you. Another milestone, that is the first ever virtual Student of the Month building highlights and staff highlights. So hopefully we'll have many more as long as we need to.
It's good to hear. I'm missing what's going on with the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much. I don't believe we had any.
I got two.
calls for remonstrance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got two really short committee reports, but the very first second grader was my neighbor, so it wasn't the best angle. I always like to take a picture when I send it to the family. I say, it's flat, but, congratulations. Two very short committee reports. In the agenda is the results of the recent curriculum and technology meeting, so a lot of fantastic presentations from the teachers and the curriculum that they presented. And that's up for approval as well. And then just, again, very short from Cuyahoga Valley Career Center, where I sit on that board. Some construction coming up. I believe the number with respect to attendance is only down about 10% of what CVC, both in the high school and adult ed. They were thinking it might be as high as 25%, but it didn't materialize that way. It continued to be very safe, same procedures. Some very good things, happening in those buildings. So the work goes on, and that's the updates from those two committees.
Okay, thank you. And forgive me for skipping over.
That's all right. I'm used to being skipped.
All right, so next is remonstrance, and I don't believe we have anything for remonstrance, so I'll get on to the business portion of the meeting. Item G, Treasurer's report and recommendations. Without objection from colleagues, I will read them together. G1, resolved that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the following meeting minutes. Regular meeting of October 7th, 2020, and October 21st, 2020, as sent to the board in a separate cover. 2, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the following financial reports: band reconciliation, general fund, financial summary report, and financial report by fund for the month of September 2020, as sent to the board in a separate cover. And 3, that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts the check register for the month of September 2020. The total including payroll is $5,532,031.20. Do I have a motion for G1 through 3?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Felber. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Davis. I'm asking. Any discussion? Mr. Aho, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Felber? Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Curtis?
Yes. That passes 3-0. Moving on to H, action items, personnel. Without objecting to my colleagues, I'll read them together. H1, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts the certificated licensed personnel and/or contract recommendations detailed in the attached exhibit as per the dates, terms, and other applicable conditions specified pending satisfactory ORC background checks. 2, that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts the classified personnel and/or contract recommendations detailed in the attached exhibit as per the dates, terms, and other applicable conditions specified pending satisfactory ORC background checks. And 3, that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts the supplemental contract recommendations detailed in the attached exhibit as per the dates, terms, and other applicable conditions specified pending satisfactory ORC background checks. Do I have a motion for H 1 through 3?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Davis. I have Mr. Felder.
Ah, second. It was close.
Yeah. Any discussion?
Yeah.
Hearing none. Mr. Aho, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Felber?
Yes.
Mr. Curtis?
Yes. That item passes 3-0. Next is action items, new business, I 1 through 7. Without objection to my colleagues, I will read them together. 1, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education directs the superintendent to approve on an as-needed basis an expulsion appeal hearing designee for the Board of Education for the 2020-2021 school year, Ronald L. Victor, ED, at an hourly rate of $150 plus mileage at 55 cents per mile. This is a general fund expense, sent to the board under separate cover. 2, that the Twinsburg Board of Education adopts Wild by Cheryl Strayer for English 10 course reading list. The adoption was approved by the District Curriculum Technology Committee on October 19th, 2020. 3, that the Twinsburg Board of Education adopts Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds, written in verse for English 10 course reading list. The adoption was approved by the District Curriculum Technology Committee on October 19th, 2020. 4, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the adoption of the Social Justice and Literature course. Course will run at the approval of the superintendent based on current staffing and/or enrollment. The adoption was approved by the District Curriculum Technology Committee on October 19th, 2020. 5, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the adoption of Exploration of Black Voices in Literature course. The course will run at the approval of the superintendent based on current staffing and/or enrollment. The adoption was approved by the District Curriculum Technology Committee on October 19th, 2020. 6, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the adoption of the Integrated Math 3 course. The course will run at the approval of the superintendent based on current staffing and/or enrollment. The adoption was approved by the District Curriculum Technology Committee on October 19th, 2020. And 7, that the Twinsburg Board of Education adopts the purchase of Algebra Foundations textbook for the Integrated 3 Math course at a cost of $4,091.79. The adoption was approved by the District Curriculum Technology Committee on October 19th, 2020. As sent to the board under separate cover, this is a permanent improvement in expenditure. Do I have a motion for items I 1 through 7?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Felber, second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Davis. Any discussion?
I just wanted to make note, this is my second term on curriculum and technology, and this was probably one of the most well-presented, well-researched meetings that we've ever had. The passion and the amount of research that goes into the curriculum and the presentation. It was a little longer meeting than we anticipated, Jen, but it's all right. It was great discussions, and I just want to make that comment with respect to curriculum and technology.
Okay, good. And I would also just add that with respect to the expulsion hearing designee, this is something that we do every year. And as I understand, I don't know how long Ron's been our designee, but he's been our designee for a few years running now.
Probably more than 5.
Okay, yeah, 5 years. So just not anything out of the ordinary, just pretty standard. It's on an as-needed basis.
Right.
Any other comments? Okay, hearing none, Mr. Abel, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Felber?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Curtis?
Yes. Passes 3-0. I will read I-8, the resolution to support Senate Bill 358. Whereas the Senate Bill 358 was introduced in August to extend many important provisions of House Bill 197 and House Bill 164 through 2020-2021 school year, and in certain cases beyond, to provide the flexibility districts need to address the unique circumstances of their communities, their school districts, and their students related to the coronavirus pandemic. Whereas the provisions of Senate Bill 358 will support our state's educators as they meet the diverse needs of students during the most challenging time we have ever experienced in education. Whereas in some exceptions, Senate Bill 358 prohibits the Ohio Department of Education from awarding first-time building performance-based Ed Choice vouchers for the 2021-2022 school year, which prohibition is an extension of the same provision provided during the 2020-2021 school year in House Bill 197. Whereas additional provisions must be added to Senate Bill 358 to provide relief to the 517 buildings that are losing a substantial amount of revenue to private schools due to Ed Choice performance-based vouchers, including the following: free school districts voucher deductions for fiscal year 2019 levels since the foundation formula is frozen, and foundation aid payments are reduced at fiscal year 2019 levels. Clarify, only one 60-day window for Ed Choice applications will be available to voucher students by removing the rolling application window. Allow buildings to exit eligibility list during the safe harbor period if they meet state improvement criteria. Clarify that a voucher student moving to a new district and building that has not yet been subject to voucher deductions cannot continue to be eligible. Provide additional funding to districts for the offset of losses from vouchers, and phase out building performance-based voucher program, replacing it with an income-based program as outlined in the current version of Senate Bill 89, the Ed Choice provisions. And whereas in addition to the Ed Choice provisions, the following essential changes should be added to Senate Bill 358: extension and broadening of waiver authority for ODE, extension of flexibility to hold virtual board meetings under the Ohio Open Meetings Act, elimination of the new territory transfer law, and elimination of the academic distress commissions, the addition provisions, and together with the Ed Choice provisions, the additional education items. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Education of the Twinsburg City, of the Twinsburg City School District that Section 1, it is necessary to formally endorse Senate Bill 358 of the 133rd General Assembly with the additional educational items added to ensure the continued operation of the additional education items added to ensure the continued operations and financial stability of the Ohio Public School Districts in order to meet the needs of all students. Section 2, the treasurer is authorized to deliver or cause to be delivered a certified copy of the resolution to community leaders and to members of the Ohio House of Representatives and the Ohio Senate, including Representative Weinstein and Senator Grosvenor. Section 3, this resolution shall be in full force and effect immediately upon its adoption. Do I have a motion for item I-8?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Davis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Felber. Discussion. Okay.
I do believe, a lot of the organizations that our administrators belong to and participate in are supportive of this as well.
That's correct. Like the Ohio School Board, those kind of associations, OASBO, BASA, they all get together and they send these kind of resolutions out. This is one of the resolutions that's like pulling money out of the schools. And what happens is the student can be at a school district, doesn't do so well one year, well, the kid gets, the student then would have this opportunity to pull this voucher then for the rest of their career, even though the school would be improving, doing better, and not necessarily in that same category any longer. So it's just like a lot of
things with with the law that they proposed. So this is going to kind of put the stops to a lot of the things that would really be pulling money kind of unfairly from public districts.
Thank you, Mr. Aho. Any other discussion or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Aho, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Felber?
Yes.
Mr. Curtis?
Yes. Passes 3-0. Next is I-9. Resolved that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the purchase of one 9-passenger Chevy Microbird MPV stock unit van at a unit cost of $46,500 pursuant to the terms and conditions set forth in the proposal sent to the board under separate cover. This van will be purchased through the Ohio Schools Council bid for Cardinal Bus Sales and Services Incorporated, 6280 Harding Highway, Street Route 309, Lima, Ohio, 45801. This is a permanent improvement expenditure. Got a motion for I-9.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Felber, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Davis. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, Mr. Aho, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Felber?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Curtis?
Yes. That passes 3-0. Next on the agenda is J for miscellaneous. Do we have anything to report on miscellaneous?
I just want to extend my congratulations, Mr. Curtis. We've watched you serve on the CVCC board as well for 6 years. When Senator Rogner was Representative Rogner, worked on legislation, and when we were able to go to conferences in person, he was like a rock star. Mark Curtis walks in the room, everybody knows him. But that's just a testament to your dedication, and proud to have you as a colleague.
Thank you. Truly appreciate that. Came as a shock to me. This was out of nowhere. Got a letter asking that if I was interested in, they had selected me, so I had to actually accept the nomination, and of course I would. So I'm assuming, as Mr. Feldman mentioned, I've been the legislative liaison for this board as well as the CVCC. I don't know, for maybe 4 years.
At least 4 here and
4
6
years
there.
total, I guess,
Yeah.
over 2 boards. So I have done a lot in the way of lobbying on the state level, and I have done some lobbying on the federal level as well. Throughout that time, I've been to Washington, D.C. twice on the Hill, and a lobby on the Senate, in the Senate as well as the House. So this isn't so far out of my comfort zone, but I thought it was pretty significant that I was one among 2, in a congressional district. So it is a little bit bigger scale. So obviously I'll be there on behalf of Twinsburg, but I'll also be representing a lot of other districts in that district. So I'm happy to be able to be in a position to do it, and I'm looking forward to continuing the work.
Yeah, and just simply said, it's very fortunate for us to have you in that capacity too, and serving, and, I mean, I think it's a big plus for our district as well, so appreciate that.
Thanks. Anything else for, I wanted to formally congratulate Representative Weinstein. He was reelected last night to another 2 years. And I know Mrs. Powers has spoken about him. He was here while he was on the campaign trail to give a legislative update. I believe that is the first of my time that a representative has come to give a legislative update. And he considered that part of his responsibility to make sure that the community is informed and stays informed. I work with him all the time. I communicate with him on an ongoing basis. Casey is extremely active, very vocal, with respect to things that concern Twinsburg City Schools, but also just any district in his, in his area, in his district. But I was just thrilled that he was reelected because he's shown a lot of support and provided a lot of assistance in the way of getting us information, answers to questions that we have about pending legislation, and provided a lot of guidance. So congratulations to Senator.
Yeah, last school year, he was at, we were at Dodge, right? And back when we were allowed to do that, and he toured and went through classrooms and maker spaces and was very inquisitive and engaging with the students.
Yeah. So that's it for me for, for miscellaneous. Again, to the girls soccer team, it was great. Great ride for those young ladies, cheering on, and we just hope that make sure the legacy continues for years to come. Okay. Well, I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Felder. Mr. Aho, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Curtis?
Yes.
Mr. Felber?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Okay. Very well. We are adjourned. Thank you for